You're listening to Productivity Monsters in the Morning. We are the energy volt your real estate business needs to get you up and out and excited and productive for the day. We go over trending topics and things that really matter in the market of the moment. Here are your hosts, Tiffany Hampton and Brooke Silva. Good morning, Tiffany.
Good morning. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. You know what's funny is I'm freezing this morning, but I'm such a New Englander. I still have my iced coffee.
And I'm being healthy and having ice water instead of coffee.
You just said my two favorite words in one sentence in your accent. My Monday is made. My Monday. Friends, that's the show. We're out. Thank you. Go be productive.
Well, let me make it even better. Let's have some ice water with my daughter instead of coffee. Right?
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. All right, friends, welcome to Productivity Monsters in the Morning. I am Brooke Silva. I'm highly caffeinated and joined by Tiffany, who is just drinking her water. And we have got an interesting topic today about not just how you show up here on the Mondays, but how you show up everywhere. Oh, it's a Monday. It's a Monday. I often have this conversation with people who are in agent services or productivity coaching because their number one frustration is my agents aren't showing up to class. They're not showing up to coaching. They're not showing up for orientation. And friends, if you're a new agent in this world, it is proven over and over that how you show up in the market center is how you're going to show up for your clients.
Everywhere.
And you know, it sounds so silly to say it, but it is, there's data that proves it. So how are you showing up for your clients? How are you showing up for yourself every day, or your team, or the people in your family? And we use this phrase often, perfection paralysis. And so today's affirmation, and then we'll get into our topic, is I prioritize progress above perfection. So all my control freaks and perfectionists, hear me out. I prioritize progress over perfection, not perfection over progress, because we are going to be your little vitamin for that production constipation that some seem to have.
Right. Because at the end of the day, is anything ever really perfect?
Well, and Tiffany, is it worth their time to be doing the things that are already done, and they're trying to reinvent the wheel, and they just would have to push play?
Right.
I think that's where my frustration lies, is the models are proven over and over. And I think we all have that. I can do that better. I can riff that up and make it look better. And then 3 hours go by, and instead of calling the people in your world or cleaning things up or doing things, you spend 3 hours designing a social post that you're not even going to put anywhere.
Right. And in all honesty, take somebody else's idea, rip off and duplicate, and put your personality on it.
Right? We call it R&D.
R&D.
Rip off.
Research and develop. We don't need to research or develop anything. It's all been developed. We just have to put our spin on it.
You know, and so if we start peeling the layers back of all this, a lot of it's our agents who are in production now. It comes from they just don't feel they have a database, or they do and it's here, and they're so frustrated because they have to figure out how to get it from one place to another. And they don't have a data bank that supports their goals. Right? They have dirty data. They have dirty data.
Yeah. Well, and let's just talk about, right? Like, we're going to be coming out with some conversations, and I am awfully blurry today. I don't know what's going on.
It's Monday.
It is Monday, so let me see if I can make us less blurry. So at the end of the day, we're going to come out with some ideas on if you want to make X amount of dollars, this is what you need to accomplish, right?
Mhm.
This is step one. And we're going to touch a little bit on the database today and starting with the basics of it, because you have to have a base.
You know, and I get a lot of pressure back sometimes about why do I have to enter all this information? Brand new agents say this to me the most. People who have never been in any type of communication type business or relationship building business, and they often get really frustrated with me. And if they ignore, get an email, get a phone number, have a full address, have some notes about how you know them, something as simple as a full name. Sometimes they fight because I'll know them. I know who they are. I'll remember. But at the end of the day, if we started with the end in mind, which is being able to retire from real estate and sell our database or use the golden handoff, just having Chris with an email and no data is not valuable to someone looking to buy your book of business.
Right.
And your data bank does not support your goals. And then you get even more frustrated when you walk into a social media class or you learn how to use emails or drip campaigns, or you want to do Facebook ads, and then you can't do it because you don't have the data to support it. Then you're never going to deploy the things that would help you build automation to make you do less but make more of an impact.
Right. Well, who really wants to work harder? Like, let's take the real estate industry. Most of our listeners are real estate agents, right? Mm-hmm. So in the real estate industry, why do most agents get into the business?
They want to make more money. They want more time with their family. They want to be their own boss.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
flexibility.
I think the big thing is controlling their time, right? I want to work for myself so I can create my own schedule so that I can have the life I desire, spend more time with family, stay away from the 9 to 4 grind, right? And
4, more like 8 to 7.
Depends on what world you're in, right? Like I went from my 90 hours down to 60 hours and now I'm down to 40 hours sometimes. And I love that, right? It's amazing. It's an amazing, beautiful thing. And how do you do that? You do that with models and systems. And our agents, like your database is your model and your system to make it simpler.
And there's this really cool data, and I can't wait for it to be published so we can show you guys, but it's not about how many contacts you have in, because let's face it, realtors will pull in anyone to get to a certain number, right? So say that magic is 201. Say 201 is the magic that would give you $116,000.
119,000 maybe.
119?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Whatever the number is, it's over 100,000.
Right.
But that means the number of contacts are not vendors, people in your market center, other agents.
Yellow pages. Do you even know what the yellow pages are these days?
I do. I'm old enough to know not only that, but what a phone book is. I used to sit on it because I'm still short. I would love to be able to sit on phone books. But if you don't have clean data, you don't have a path to your goals because you can't systematically market to them.
Follow up with them.
Right? Or do the tasks you need to do, because every person that you think you need to speak to, when you go to call them and they're not, oh, I don't have their phone number. So now what do I do? Right? Oh, I'll follow up with email. Oh, I don't have their email. Or worse, you have bad data.
Yeah. And let's just talk about, I don't have their email. Oh, well, I'm not going to take that action.
Right? I would call.
You would call, right? And
I would.
I would say 80% of the agent population would be like, oh, well, so sad, too bad. And you know what that could have potentially been in our market? A $12,000 to $15,000 commission.
And not to mention the referrals that would come out of that because of the great
Service.
you gave them.
Yeah.
And I think showing up is hard sometimes too, because we know dual career agents exist. So you've got to find the time to show up for yourself. You've got to find the resources. You've got to tap into what's available to you and the people and the technology around you. I get the question often as, Brooke, what is the best CRM? What is the best?
You know what my answer is?
Yeah, it's probably the same as mine. Tell me.
The one you use.
Exactly. No phone is better than the other type of phone, even though we will have this joke about Android versus Apple in my world forever. But at the end of the day, does the phone ring and call other people? Does it text? Can you get on the internet? Can you check email and answer an email? Can you run your business from our app? Absolutely. So the only phone that matters is the one you're going to use. And the only tools that matter are the ones you're going to use. And if you can dial a phone number, is dial a phone number even a term? Like roll down your window, I guess? If you can place a phone call, if you can send a text, if you can check your Facebook, guess what? You're tech savvy. You really are.
Yeah. Funny story. Last week I was down in the Andover Market Center and I was outside. It was like 7:30 in the morning because I get there early. And there was this little old woman standing there and she's like, I can't find my eye doctor. And I asked her, I was like, do you have a phone? And she's like, no, I don't have a cell phone. I was like, how liberating was my first thought. And then I was like, let me pull out my phone, solve her problem. And after I solved her problem, I was like, oh, by the way, I'm in the real estate industry. Who do you know? And you know what? She actually gave me a name. Her daughter. I was like, see, so good, do a good deed and a good deed.
Yeah.
And she didn't have a cell phone.
So you got her home phone?
I had to.
Yeah. So smoke
signals. Have that old school big answering machine. I don't know. The things. Sorry, derail. I apologize.
No. So back to the topic of how are you showing up for your clients?
Yes.
Let's talk about promises. We promise in our listing and buyers presentations and all over our social media that we communicate at a high level. We always stay in touch. We have the most up-to-date market stats and information on your neighborhood and the industry as a whole. So, Tiffany, are our agents living up to the promises and how they promised their clients they were going to show up if they're not keeping clean data?
Right. I mean, no. And here's the really sad thing. We were on a call recently and they were talking about like the history of how the real estate industry, and we really moved in the 2000s to a service business.
Right.
Right. And where are we falling down on that promise? And it really falls into this first step of making sure you have the information you need and the permissions to do your job and to take care of your people. Because when you take care of your people, they take care of you.
Yep. And when you have that great, and now you don't have to be Encyclopedia Britannica when it comes to your clients. You don't have to know their blood type, like we don't need genetic markers. But we need a couple of pieces of information. So today's tech action, coaching action for you guys is to start with the basics. It's not about buying leads. It's not about paying thousands and thousands for a CRM. It's about the things you're going to plug in to the clients. And nobody's going to clean their database. Nobody will sit down and clean their database. It's an impossible task. So what I usually tell our agents who are already in production is, start with your past deals and every day clean one of those clients up, right? Make sure you've got all the information, closing dates, birthdays, new addresses, the correct tags. How do you contact them? And you know what? If you're missing a piece, what a great day to reach out to them, connect with them, see how they're doing get that information and find out, hey, since you've bought the house, what are you looking to do for upgrades this winter? Have you thought about that? I know at one point you talked about putting a pool in. Do you need to speak to someone now so we can set you up for the spring? Right? There's so many things you can talk about. It's not about, hi, I don't have your email. And I'm sure we do have the email. It's just not in the database. Search their name in your email. Search their name in your phone, and you're going to find all the records. Ask the mortgage person, right? Like there's so many easy ways to do it. So if you're an agent in production, every day, pick a past client from the most recent, work your way backwards. If you are newer to the business and you have not had a closing or you're not working with buyers or sellers yet, do the same thing, but work backwards. Look at your phone. Go through that, spam risk. Oh, Tiffany Hampton, right? And go backwards. Spam risk and go backwards. And the people you spoke to, look at you have a huge contact.
Yeah.
Right?
So, and here's a trick, whether it's an Android or an iPhone, you go to your contacts, you scroll all the way down to the bottom. Like,
I'm not telling you how many I have.
And mine has been cleaned out. I have 1,404, of which there are people in here that are not agents that I should be in touch with.
Right. And this will also stop that signpost to the heart. We've all had those experiences where you drive by your neighbor and all of a sudden somebody else's sign is in their yard because you assumed they knew you were in real estate because your stuff is everywhere outside the house, or you're always loading signs in or out, and they know I'm in real estate. So to stay top of mind, to show up every day for our clients and the people in our community, our team, we need to start with just a little bit of just adding a little bit every day. Make your client files better 1% every single day. And we've talked about these two books before. SOI is one of my most favorite books for agents by Brian Icenhower, and that will be in the show notes. And I fully believe when you leave real estate school and you get your license, you should be handed this book called The Golden Handoff. Because if you understood the end goal and you started with the end in mind, you wouldn't fight the process, the models, the systems, because you would understand the power and the value of a beefy, beautiful data bank instead of a database.
Yeah. And, I started in this industry in 99 and I joined KW in 2013. And I look back, had I started on day one, first off, unless you build a mega team, honestly, in my opinion, you can be in and out of this industry in 5 years and get passive income from what you built. Because at the end of the day, you create your independent wealth from the commissions that you make, and then you go live your next life, right? In order to do that, you need these 4 basic items.
So we've given our friends a lot to think about today, right? To be productive. What would it look like, friends, if you showed up for your clients just simply by adding a little bit more to their contact records wherever they live? And get it out of your head. If this is the only place your data lives, you're not going to be able to sell that data to someone or do that golden handoff or hit those big goals.
And I'll just add one more piece and then we can close out. The other part of it too is, well, I don't need that. I'm Facebook friends. I can reach out to them. What if Facebook went away tomorrow? What if Instagram went away tomorrow? Like, what if your favorite social media went away tomorrow and now you can't reach that person that you've been communicating with? So take the time. It's worth it. It is. And start those. If you have to start with a text message to warm it up for a call for you, do it. If you have to reach out on social media, do that. But get to that, the verbal, get to the face-to-face, because that's where the magic happens. Yeah. Even for folks like me, I've become more friendly over the years. I enjoy people reaching out. I know. Isn't that crazy? I know. So proud of you, friend. Now you've got such a happy friend glow to you. Yes, I do. Thank you. It's all due to our conversations. Yes. All right. Well, check out the show notes and ask yourself, how are you showing up? And if you want our healthy contact cheat sheet, what do they got to do?
Just email us. Our emails are in there. You can do PMintheAM@kw.com or reach out to one of us individually. We'll get that to you so you know how to get your command contact records at 100%. Because if you're sitting there at 96, you're probably like, what am I missing?
Absolutely.
And it happens. All right, Tiffany.
Till tomorrow.
Drink your water.
Drink my water. See you later.
Bye.